We've all seen it happen, right? A shiny new piece of software gets rolled out at work, and it promises to make everything faster, easier, better. But then you watch some of your smartest, most experienced colleagues just struggle with it. Today, we're going to dig into why that really happens.
I mean, it's a story we all know. You've got brilliant professors, seasoned execs, people who can handle unbelievably complex parts of their job, but they just hit a total wall with, say, the new scheduling software. So what's really going on here?
Well, the easy answer, the one you always hear, is that they're just resistant to change. We call them Luddites or dinosaurs, people who just don't want to learn anything new. It's a simple story, and it puts all the blame right on the person.
But what if that story is just wrong? What if the frustration we're seeing isn't some kind of character flaw, but a completely logical reaction to a system that's just badly designed? That's a huge shift in how we think about this problem.
And this idea, it's at the very heart of some fascinating new research. A study by Dr. Ronnie A. Rodas dives deep into this exact issue, looking specifically at the software used in universities, the learning management systems, or LMS, to figure out what is really going on.
And what makes this research so compelling is the guy who did it. See, Dr. Rodas isn't just some academic in an ivory tower. He's got a Ph.D. that's all about how we humans interact with computers. But, and this is key, he's also been in the trenches. He's worked as an instructional designer and as an LMS administrator. He knows the theory, but he also knows the sheer frustration of trying to get something done. So his study just completely reframes the whole conversation. It argues that what looks like resistance to change is actually something very specific and very real. It's called technostress.
Technostress? You know that feeling, right? It's that anxiety and helplessness you get when technology is supposed to help, but instead it just gets in your way. And the study says it mostly comes from two things. Techno-complexity, that's when a simple task is buried under 5 different confusing menus, and techno-overload, which is when you're just staring at 100 different features you're never ever going to use.
And this isn't just a feeling. The study has the data to back it up. When they asked faculty, the ones who called themselves low-tech, what was hardest to use, look what shot to the top of the list. It was the really complicated, high-stakes stuff, like gradebooks and analytics. It's not about uploading a document. It's about wrestling with a system that feels like it's actively fighting you.
This quote from one of the instructors in the study it says it all, doesn't it? This isn't about being stubborn. It's about feeling like this tool, this thing you're required to use, wasn't even built with you in mind.
But a clunky design is only half the problem. The research found there's another huge ingredient that turns simple frustration into actual technostress, the rules and policies of the organization itself. Now, these policies, they're usually created with the best intentions. Things like, everyone must use the official software. All grades must go into this complicated gradebook. You must use analytics for your reports. And it's all presented as being about quality. But the result is often a total mess. Because when you force people to use a complex tool they can't figure out, they don't suddenly become experts. They just feel trapped. And this leads to the classic workaround. They keep the real gradebook in a simple spreadsheet, and then they just copy-paste the final grades into the official system to look like they're following the rules. It completely defeats the purpose of the whole thing.
Okay, so how do we fix this disaster? The study is really clear. We have to stop blaming the user. The solution starts with totally rethinking how we support people, and that begins with training.
And the research found a massive gap between what helps and what doesn't. You know those huge one-size-fits-all workshops? Yeah, not so helpful. They're overwhelming. What actually works? Personal support. Things like one-on-one coaching, learning from a colleague you trust, having a sandbox course where you can just play around and not break anything, and short, focused videos that show you exactly how to do one specific task. It's about getting help that's relevant and right when you need it.
But look, even the best training in the world can only do so much if the system itself is still broken. So the final, and honestly the most important part of the solution is this. We have to stop trying to fix the person and start fixing the system they're stuck working in.
Dr. Rodas' study gives us a super clear 5-step roadmap. 1. Design software to be simple right out of the box. 2. Go after the biggest pain points and make them easier, like those crazy gradebooks. 3. Don't make policies that your support team can't realistically handle.
4, invest in the kind of personalized training we just talked about. And 5, and this is the big one, you have to put your so-called low-tech users at the absolute center of your design and testing. Their feedback isn't just nice to have, it is essential.
So here's the bottom line. Real support isn't about handing someone a 200-page manual and saying, deal with it. It's about realizing that when lots of smart, capable people are all struggling with the same thing, the problem is almost definitely the thing, not the people. It's about building systems that are more thoughtful and, frankly, more human.
So we want to leave you with a question to take back to your own workplace. The next time you hear someone mention user error, just pause for a second and ask yourself, is the problem really the user or is it the design? What problem in your organization is actually a design failure in disguise?